There is a pipeline on TikTok that starts in a very innocent way. First, you start seeing videos glamorizing having the soft life, no tension, no stress. And then you slowly go deeper. You see content telling you how vastly different feminine and masculine energies are.
I regulate through dopamine. The win, the workout, the goal hit, the productivity high. Achievement makes me feel good. I regulate through oxytocin. Touch, intimacy, my husband, my dog, deep conversations with people I love. Connection makes me feel safe.
Then that men and women shouldn't live in the same way.
Okay, reasons why women should not live the same way that men do. Women have 2 internal timekeepers and men only have 1. While we both follow the 24-hour circadian rhythm as dictated by the sun, women also follow a 28 to 32 day cycle as dictated by the moon. We call this our menstrual cycles. Women only feel and function their best when they're able to live in tune with their solar and lunar cycles. However, much of society is only based around the solar cycle as aligned to a male's testosterone. It is not empowering to push a woman to live within a system not built for her cyclical body. It is empowering to create a system that fosters both the masculine and the feminine, a system that honors both the solar and the lunar cycles.
Then that women weren't meant to have a 9-to-5 job.
Women are not meant to work 9-to-5 jobs. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We shouldn't have to work 9-to-5 jobs. Women are meant to go to Pilates class, tan by a pool, read a good book, take care of the children, make good food, and be provided for by a man.
And then you fall down the rabbit hole of videos like this.
If you are a man that believes that women belong in the kitchen, can I please bear your children? Please, 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 I'll do anything. Please, please, that's all I've wanted my entire life. Please, just...
And then you end up on the TradWife side of TikTok, where it seems like the ultimate goal in life should be to get married, have children, and just take care of the house. I need to preface this whole video by saying that I don't think being a stay-at-home mom is like objectively a wrong choice for everybody. I mean, everyone is different. Everyone wants different things. And I know personally a lot of women who have made the choice to be like a kind of like a TradWife, and they are very happy with this choice. They are very safe, they are very fulfilled. But that's unfortunately not the rule. And I feel like we should talk about this because content like this very often ends up on feeds of very young women and sometimes even teenage girls who may not be aware of like realities of adult life, and they may make choices that aren't like the best for them just because they got influenced by this content that promises them this soft and stress-free life. They are being promised by those creators that if they decide to become the TradWife and just, stay home with the kids and take care of the house, they will be spared the pressure of having a career, they will be spared the stress of having a 9-to-5 job, and that they will basically be able to do whatever they want.
To anybody that doesn't want to be a stay-at-home wife, let me convince you. It's 7 o'clock, I'm already in my comfy PJs. All I did today was go shopping.
And that life is not as stress-free as TikTok creators would lead you to believe. Because for a lot of these women who stay home and just take care of the house and the kids, it is a job, it's just unpaid. And any woman who has lived with that choice will tell you that it's not as easy and carefree as it seems. The person who inspired me to make this video, and the one I want to talk about a little bit more in depth today, is a creator whose name is Lily. Lily is 19 years old and she is married to a guy who is 22, and they have a newborn daughter together. Lily generally just posts about her like everyday life as a stay-at-home mom, and she seems to be very open about the arrangement that she has with her husband.
These are things I think people may be jealous of me for. Start off very strong. I met the love of my life when I was 15 years old, and then we got married when I was 18. I've never had a situationship, and also I married my very first boyfriend ever, which I am so happy because I didn't want to deal with all of that.
They got married only a week after she turned 18. She seems to be very happy with her marriage, with her life generally, so I'm not here to convince you or her that she made the wrong choice, because I don't know her and maybe that choice was right for her. But I think there are certain things that she shows in her content that are worth talking about. Let's start with a TikTok in which she shows how she and her husband are sharing household chores, because it's probably the one that got her the most attention so far. So first it's cleaning, she does 100%, he does 0. Then it's childcare, she does 100, he does 10, so I guess it's not like percentage wise, I don't know. At least for now there's not much for him to do. He watches her if I need him to, but I do all the diapers, baths, waking up and such. Then it's dishes and laundry, again she does 100, he does 0. Cooking, again she does 100, he does 0. And then it's taking out the trash, and she does 0, he does 100, because this is a guy job. Now, in my opinion, this doesn't seem like a very fair distribution of chores, even given the fact that she doesn't work outside the house. Now, I don't necessarily think that everything has to be 50-50. Obviously, some tasks are 70-30, others are 40-60. Like, that's normal in any relationship. Nonetheless, she's taken up a huge chunk of things that have to be done in the house and for the family in general. She seems to be responsible for almost everything other than throwing out the trash and being the protector. When someone asked her how her husband protects her, she responded, "He's very skilled with MMA and also has, just in case anyone tries to harm me or our daughter. Let's not pretend that this world is a safe place anymore. Terrible things happen daily." Anytime I listened to those like TradWife influencers and they said that a man's job is to protect you, I always thought they meant it more metaphorically, that, you know, he is supposed to protect you, I don't know, from poverty, for example, by providing you with a good life. He should change the light bulbs so you don't hurt yourself by falling off a chair. Like, I just never thought they meant it literally. And I don't know if it's an American thing or if this is just like in this niche, they really believe that the world is so unsafe, you need that type of protection. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do really feel this unsafe and they just feel better with a man around. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't want to like judge too harshly. I just always thought they meant it metaphorically and not like literally, like physically, you know what I mean? Another comment said, "Please make sure you have your own money and bank account just in case." And she responded, "No thanks, but thank you for the concern." And this is something we definitely need to talk about. I can understand having this arrangement in which one person stays home and like takes care of the house and the other one works professionally. What I don't understand, however, is that only one person has access to money. First of all, being a stay-at-home mom requires a lot of work and a lot of sacrifices, and I think someone like this deserves to have their own money which they can spend with like nobody controlling them. Because if you're in a fight or there's some tension between you, the husband in this case controls all the money, and if he says, you know, you can't buy this, you cannot buy a dress, you cannot go out with your friends because I'm not giving you the money, you literally just can't. Like, you have no freedom, you have no option to go against that because you literally have no access to money that you also contribute to. Like, he works professionally, but if you are taking care of the house, you're taking a lot of like responsibilities of him, so you are contributing to his financial success. Another thing that people mention a lot, including in Lily's comments, is what would happen if he left you. Lily said, "It's simple. He'll always want to be with me and I'll always want to be with him. Our wedding vows were till death do us part." And that is a fair question in my opinion, because if he decides to leave or if he, I don't know, cheats, for example, she is left with nothing and she won't even have money until like some sort of arrangement like alimony is set in place. And even if they stay together, which I really do wish for them, stuff can still happen. Accidents happen. What if he's like unconscious for a little while and then she doesn't have access to money? Like, I know to some people this will seem like a stretch, but I feel like adult life teaches you to prepare for a lot of things because shit just happens sometimes. On top of that, she doesn't really have any qualifications or experience to fall back on in case something happens. She admitted in her comments that she only has a high school education and no plans to study further as of right now. If they split up, if he loses his job and cannot find a new one, if he, I don't know, cannot work anymore for some reason, like, she has no qualifications that she can use to find something, even for a little while, to help the family financially finances a little bit. And even if everything goes well for them for the rest of their lives, she is 19 years old and she can simply change her mind. When I think of myself when I was 19 and I remember what kind of like path I had envisioned for myself, I'm just so glad I didn't go that way because I would be so miserable now. Now, I'm not saying this will definitely happen to her, that she will definitely regret her life choices just because she is 19 and she doesn't know any better. Maybe she won't, but let's not kid ourselves. Our 20s are a time filled with like experiences and experimenting and kind of finding out who you are and what you want to do. And unfortunately, I think if you decide to get married and have kids that young with no education and no prior job experience, if you change your mind about being a stay-at-home mom, your choices are going to be very limited. I mean, let's say you turn 26 or 27 and your kids go to school and you decide maybe you want to actually explore other options. It's going to be much harder for you to start. I'm not saying it's impossible to start a career after being a stay-at-home mom for a few years. It's just going to be much harder with no job experience and no education. Especially nowadays when getting any entry-level job is very difficult because of AI, even for people who have relevant job experience and education. And it's not a difficult situation just for her, but I also think for him, and hear me out because I might say something that is very unpopular, or at least it's something that I haven't really seen people talk about. Her husband is in a position where he is the sole provider for their whole family and he is only 22 years old. I mean, he is a young guy as well, a very young guy, I would say, and he has this immense pressure on himself, not only because he is the only one working, but also because he is the only one with qualifications to have a well-paying job. And that can very easily lead to burnout because I think he is aware that all of this like financial pressure is on him because his wife doesn't have any qualifications to get a well-paying job just if in case something happens. It is also limiting his choices because he is only 22 and he is tied to the job he has because he doesn't really have the space to explore and experiment because he has a wife and kid he has to provide for. Obviously, he's kind of in the position of power in this relationship because he manages the money, but I still think he kind of closed himself in a role that, in my opinion, is very restrictive to men. I don't know why there are so many men who really so desperately want to be the sole providers. I mean, first of all, like I said, it's a lot of pressure. Second of all, a lot of them who talk about this, the guys who say, oh, like a man should bring money into the relationship, I feel like they are reducing themselves to just being money makers. I mean, you deserve better. You deserve to be loved for who you are and not just for the fact that you can provide your wife with a cool life and pretty dresses and expensive vacation. And the traditional women, I really don't know what to call them. They often say, oh, like I love my husband so much. He's provided me with the best life. He is making so many sacrifices just to make money for our family. And I'm kind of like, just can you just love him for who he is? Does he really have to earn your love and earn it by making money? Now, I do get it from like a woman's perspective because if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you need a guy who makes a lot of money. I mean, a man on an average salary will not be able to provide this life for you. He will not be able to financially support your whole family. So I kind of get it from a woman's perspective, but I don't know. I really don't get it. Why are there so many men who want to put themselves in that position so badly? I mean, I don't know. Generally speaking, relationships like that seem very transactional to me. I mean, he provides the money, she provides the homemaking, and I just think they both deserve better. And Lily talks a lot about what that reality actually looks like. From what she's been posting and saying in her comments, she is alone a lot of the time because her husband works very long hours. For example, someone commented under that video I showed you about how they split household chores, and that person said he watches her Father of the Year, and she responded, what's he supposed to do? Watch her when he's hours away at work for 12 to 14 hours? He takes care of her when he can, but I'm the main person taking care of her, obviously. obviously. Or when someone said, "It takes a village" is a saying for a reason. Don't feel bad in asking people in your social circles, who you trust, family, best friends, etc., for help to take some of the load off yourself. And really responded, "I'm more than capable of doing it myself, but I do have family and my husband to help if I ever struggle." In some comments, she seems to insist on doing everything herself because those are her chores and she doesn't need any help. And I understand that their arrangement is that she works inside the house, he works outside the house, but I still think with a newborn, that's a lot to take care of, even if you have like a whole day to do this and you don't have to worry about a 9 to 5. She also posted a video only 2 weeks postpartum in which she said that she is home alone because her husband had to go back to work and she was already taking care of everything around the house, the cleaning, the laundry, the cooking, the baby, all on her own, only 14 days after she gave birth. She also talked about how she organizes her time.
There's 5 things you can do to keep up with housework postpartum. Here are the 5 tips that I have for you guys. Number 1 is I set a time. I have to get something done. Like, there's no negotiation. This has to be done at this time. For example, I have to get dinner done by 4 p.m. Usually it takes me 1 to 2 hours to cook dinner. That means I start cooking or prepping by 2 p.m. Also, making lists and having timers will be like your best friend. Like postpartum, trying to get like into the rhythm again. We made a list of things I need to do daily, weekly, and monthly. This is actually my list of things. I put it on a board or whatever, and I put it on my fridge to get all the trash bagged up, floor swept and vacuumed, all rooms organized, stuff like that. I need to get these done by the time my husband gets home, that just so I can like relax, we can spend time together.
I don't know if you noticed how long her list of chores is. I mean, I really think it's a lot, especially when it falls on only one person. And again, when someone commented suggesting that she should maybe rest because she just had a baby, she just tells them she can do this and she doesn't need to rest. And maybe she doesn't. Maybe she really has all that energy that I could only dream of, and maybe she actually doesn't need to rest all that much. But if this doesn't prove to you that being a stay-at-home mom isn't all that easy and glamorous and stress-free, I don't know what will. Because just imagine, your body just went through 9 months of pregnancy and giving birth, and you have to get up and do all the work, which is mostly physical and definitely very exhausting. This is not the soft life that TikTok would lead you to believe it is. It's work, and it's very hard work at that. On top of that, that work is unpaid. You have no freedom, you have no money that you can spend without asking your husband for permission. You cannot spend money on stupid shit just because you've been working all day and you want to treat yourself. If your husband says no, then you just cannot do it. I think there is a reason why a lot of those like TradWife influencers are very young women. I mean, Lily is only 19, but a lot of girls that we see online promoting this life are in their early 20s, sometimes late 20s, early 30s, but you don't really see a lot of older women, like older, I mean 40, 50, 60, kind of promoting this life. And I think there are reasons why. I think those women know that this life isn't like so soft and stress-free. I mean, maybe it is less stressful to some people, but it's definitely not as soft and dainty as some TikTokers would like you to believe. I also think women who are dedicating themselves to their families and they don't want a job outside of the house don't post on TikTok several times a day like full-time influencers. But what do I know? But in all honesty, I really wish Lily and other creators like her all the best. I hope they are genuinely in a secure position with a husband who truly supports them and doesn't exploit the power he has in a relationship. Because I think we are all aware that unfortunately this happens quite a lot. At the beginning of the relationship, everything is so perfect. You love each other, you support each other, everything is so dreamy and perfect basically. And then then as time goes on, couples start fighting, some even break up, and then the person with the money has all the power and the stay-at-home mom is left with nothing but responsibilities. As always, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and I just wanted to say I'm very thankful to everyone who's subscribed, because I've reached and surpassed 1000 subscribers, which was like a huge goal for me that I kind of felt like it was never going to happen, but it did, and I'm very thankful to all of you guys. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so to join our little community. Thank you to everyone who's already done so. See you in the next one. Bye.